Welcome back, everyone, to session 26 of Occupation. As we're getting kind of near the end game for the Occupation crew. Let's kick it off with a bit of a recap. The crew has just completed their successful invasion of Ethor after they rallied together the various factions of the galaxy, bringing in the Hutt cartels, the Sith Dominion, the Jedi Order, the Mandalorians, bringing them all together under the banner of Defanda Station to retake Ithor, kind of the inciting event that initially broke up the alliance between the Sith, the Republic, and the Mandalorians after Ithor fell and the Republic signed the armistice. Defanda Station decided to make a stand and retake Ithor in the name of the New Galactic Alliance to hopefully push back and bring bring an end to the war with the Yuzon Vong. But with the group of kind of getting all these various factions together and making various deals with each faction to secure their ships, their men, their drills, their resources. They were able to bring them to bear and invade Ethor with a pretty strategy that worked pretty flawlessly for the Fonda Station invaders. They were able to bring in their ships expertly, disable the Yuzon Vong dreadnoughts that were guarding the planet, taking out their fighters with limited losses to the Defanda Station crew, along with their allies who were supporting them within the engagement. But with that, the Defanda crew decided they're best utilized on the ground, hunting down high priority targets, and made their way to the world ship's kind of space elevator umbilical, kind of connecting the world ship to the planet below. They made their way down within, hunting Master Shaper Nim Yin, and were able to kind of maneuver through layers and layers of the Shaper's den, fighting kind of horrific shaped creatures from the Tarrant attack to even coming up against the former invasion crew, the former survivors of Vela who had been captured and shaped by the Master Shaper, giving enhancements from their Yuzon Vong, as well as twisting their mind against their former purposes. We had to come up against Caesar, the gardener, along with Dash, and fight them in a battle to the death. But fortunately, you guys were able to defeat them while still sparing their lives and potentially being able to get a chance to cure those three of their kind of the shaped and Vong implants and all the Vong have done to them. After that, the group was able to kind of chase down Nim Yin. Seeing that the invasion, the battle was going outside of the Yuzon Vong's favor, she started to detach part of the Shaper's den and trying to flee for the safety of hyperspace. But the crew, even though they were battered, bruised, and pretty near death for a lot of them, they chased after Nim Yin, able to catch her ship, break in as it was making its way towards atmosphere, and arrest the Master Shaper, stopping her before that they were able to reach hyperspace. But while the group was very successful in their endeavors, they did lose one of their members in a pretty pitched battle with 7-2 odds against them. Val and Horus fought against the Yuzon Vong soldiers, with Horus falling to the onslaught. Eventually, the troubled Jedi, who would often kind of thought in draconian measures, did find a little bit of solace, a little bit of peace in the Force before passing, becoming one, as his body faded away after being brutally assaulted by the Yuzon Vong. But with that, that's where we're going to pick up. So you guys are on Ethor. You see kind of above the skies, the battle beginning to come to a close. We're mopping up the last bit of the Yuzon Vong starfighters and frigates that are either unable to jump to hyperspace or far too dogmatic with the Yuzon Vong warrior tradition to ever run from a foe, even if tactics would dictate so. You see kind of the kind of sprawling lines of turbo lasers, few bits of molten lava as the Yuzon Vong shoot plasma and bits of black holes appearing, but it's starting to slow to a crawl. It's mostly mop-up effort as this unified Fonda Station alliance is able to bring this battle to a halt. Uh, and with that, you guys, you are on the ground, kind of back near the Shaper's Den. You've got Nimian captured. You see the battle is beginning to kind of run to a close around you. Was there anything that you guys wanted to do on Ethor before rejoining kind of to find the station and making your way back up orbit side?
Nothing that I can think of. I don't think that there were any remaining goals or objectives that we had outstanding. I think we checked every single box somehow. It was a pretty good plan, and lots of good dice rolls where it mattered.
The dice definitely were with you guys, and I forgot to mention one thing in the recap as well. You all were able to stop the world ship from fleeing to hyperspace as well, learning from the captured Republic Senate guards that the former Supreme Chancellor Oveno was being captured aboard there. So you do know that he's been secured, but they did say that he was in critical condition, we'll say. But with that, so if that's you guys, so it sounds like you guys are pretty much done on the planet of Ethor. You can definitely gather up the remnants of the Republic Senate Guard that are still kind of left behind. Unfortunately, the three that came to aid you in battle, including the one that you freed, perished in the conflict, fighting hard to buy Val and Horus a little bit more time, and probably the reason that they were able to get revived or not downed earlier before the other crew could help bring them in. But you're at least able to help their comrades, those other ones that were taken prisoner at the same time, along with your prisoner, Master Shaper Nimian, and the rest of the former survivor, still the survivors of Vela, who had been shaped and twisted by the Yuzon Vong and their machinations. So yeah, after you guys are able to call in a ship that kind of swoops down from the planet, the orbit side, loads you guys up. Pretty jovial atmosphere, especially with some of the Tefanda Station crew, some of the refugees that you guys trained to fly, trained to fight, kind of joking with you guys, smiling as you guys come on board. Or for those who will joke and smile, Malachi, you probably get a little less of the jovialness due to Malachi-ness, but Val probably especially. I think, is Val a celebrator? He seems like he would be. You're on mute.
Yeah, Val's a pretty happy guy. I think he'd be joining the celebrations.
Perfect. They are kind of joking. Some of them will bust out kind of some contraband Carillion whiskey that they've got on board, pass it around as you all make your way back up to the station. And it kind of continues through. It's a pretty jovial atmosphere as they escort you to the command room, where you can get a chance to check in both of the station crew as well as some of your patrons from the various factions that helped organize this. And as you guys make your way in there, you do see holograms for the four key patrons. And then you see Lord Galvin looking surprisingly pleased. His eyes, for once a natural color, they're not the glowing gold of the Sith. He's got a smile on, and even through hologram, you can see he does have a pretty ornate wine glass in his hands. You do see a little bit more stoic, the kind of the Tolan Jedi Master, kind of just almost eyes tired, sad, but still a bit of hope within them. You could definitely see he's kind of having a complicated mourning relationship with the passing of Horus. But you also see, kind of looking through, and actually one of the holograms is missing. So you do see the big boss of the Hutts kind of on there. He is definitely very jovial, joking around, puffing on a big cigar. But Vars, surprisingly, you don't see any of the Mandalorian representatives. Their hologram is kind of muted or off, at least at the moment. But as you guys come in, they are definitely just kind of, for once, nothing but praise. You do see Big Boss Granick kind of puffing on a cigar, and he goes, Hunter of Hunters, Vars, Malachi, you did it. Honestly, I already wrote off the mining drill as a loss, but you guys, you took that investment and you ran with it. Cheers to you.
Val has delivered honor upon myself and of course the Hutt cartel.
Of course, never once have you brought us dishonor, even with that whole spiced in mess where on Ryloth. I mean, didn't go for you that time, but this time, Hunter of Hunters, Destroyer of Dreadnoughts, everything else you can do, you came through for us. Vars, you're on mute.
You could probably throw in Liberator or Vthor in that long list of titles.
Yeah, what are my titles here? I gotta pull it up.
Because you got another one too.
Friend of Horus, the Battle Master.
Oh yeah.
And so Hunter of Hunters. So Val, Hunter of Hunters, Destroyer of Dreadnoughts, like almost interrupting Boss Granite because he forgot. Like obviously. Mistakes. Destroyer of Dreadnoughts, Savior of the Puak, Threader of Needles, Friend of Horus, the Battle Master.
You do see Jedi Master Palo. Kind of his head tails twitch a little bit. He does give a sad kind of nod, and he goes, I felt his passing. He seemed to be as at peace as I've ever felt him. Could you tell me more of how he fell?
Val was honored to fight next to Horus, who I call a friend. He fought well, he earned honor, and he earned a death.
You see Paolo nod, kind of give a sad, slow nod, and he goes, I'm saddened of his passing. I've often said that it felt that he's had a death wish, but for some reason the death never chose him. It always chose those around. I'm glad that you all made it home, and that his death, as you said, was honorable and for something greater than himself.
Val owes Horus a debt, one that I will never repay, because it shames Val to say this, but without Horus, Val would not have made it. Horus was truly a great battle master, as they say.
You see Master Paolo nod and kind of a sad tone, and goes, that he was. I know not all in the order mourn his passing, but I do. I'm glad that his last moment was one of honor and of peace. And then you see Lord Galvin kind of like almost just this shy of rudely interrupt that moment. And like you see him swill, Jacob goes, my friends, this is enough talk about death. This is a day of celebration. You've taken a planet, and from what my troopers have reported, and I'm not sure, I'm hoping you can confirm it, but it seems you were able to take the Master Shaper alive. Is this true, my friends?
Indeed, Lord Galvin, we have captured the Master Shaper. She is in our custody currently. Enjoy your libations. The interrogations will begin as soon as you're ready.
I don't know if it means anything, but she really didn't put up much of a fight.
You see Galvin kind of, his face kind of stretches up a little bit of curiosity. He goes, that is curious. Most of these Vong can't wait to throw away their lives in combat, whether feudal or not. She bears looking after, but if she can be broken, if she can be made to serve, she could be an asset.
I don't think you'll have to interrogate her too hard. But I guess we'll know more soon enough.
Just a feeling, perhaps, but it does seem that the higher in the hierarchy of the Vong that we get, the less they are committed to this go out fighting routine that they have, especially the Shapers. The Shaper seems to prefer living much more than death.
There was that other shaper that collaborated with us to clear his name, even if it meant the destruction of his damn world ship. So, if you make it worth her while, or whatever that means to her, maybe this will be easier than we thought.
You see Galvin nod, and he goes, well, fanaticism doesn't always reach the top. But I'm not sure if it is the lack of fanaticism or her forward position within the vault. The warriors are fanatics because they need to be able to die and bleed and continue fighting. Shapers need to think a little bit more. They're scientists, and I've often found that scientists usually aren't fanatics for a cause. But Vars, hopefully you may be right. If we can twist her, if we can turn her into an asset, the galaxy and the Dominion would be very pleased.
Well, I guess that remains to be seen. Any word on Velku? His absence here is, well, it's weird.
You see Galvin does hold up a hand. Oh, we have a bit of intel, but he kind of looks to the other holograms. I did want to give this to find the station, just us. There was a discussion a little earlier, and some promises were made, and I want to talk through said promises. Boss Granick, Jedi Master, would you please excuse us? And you do see Master Paolo does give a small nod and go, you've done well today. We'll be most eager to see if Oveno can be saved and what efforts we can utilize to bring the Republic back to the rightful side. We'll follow up soon. You see his hologram wink out. You see Big Boss Granick go, yep, celebrate up. You all succeeded. You did what you needed to do. We still have some mining drones out there, so we're going to start stripping the planet, getting some of the resources like we said. Great deal, guys. Great job. Granick out. You see him disappear. Then you see Galvin kind of take center stage within the holograms, and he goes, as I said, I don't like to hold a debt above people's heads, but I do like to remind people of what was said. Vars, you did promise to take on a task that I swore on my own power, let's say, that won't dishonor you. That should actually elevate you. I've told you before, Vars, I consider you a friend. I don't have very many friends. I like to have my friends in high places. Remember that. Val and Malachi, you all made no such assurances of honor or duty or anything like that. You promised to do me a favor. And I mean to hold you to that. As far as the reason Velku has not responded, and you probably, your own troops and Mandalorian forces should be hearing about it probably within the next few hours. Mandalore has been invaded. They are resisting. Mandalore himself is on the planet. You and your Mandalorians, Mandalore the planet, Mandalore the name, little creativity. But Mandalore the man is on Mandalore the planet, facing off against the Yuzon Vong. And from what my scouts have said, without aid, he will fall. They expect he should be able to hold out for 2 weeks. But after that, if estimates go according to plan, the Vong will claim the planet and most likely your Mandalore himself. And if I remember right, you all promised the Mandalorians to assist if Mandalore was invaded. Was that the promise you made?
Yes. That's another foothold in the galaxy we can't allow the Vong to have. Outside of my personal reasons, obviously, but...
Oh, of course not. The Mandalorians, next to a Sith, you guys are the best fighters pound for pound in the galaxy. We can't let that spark be extinguished. But I don't think you have the resources right now just to aid the Mandalorians, or at least to clearly overwhelm their forces. But the Dominion could assist. The Dominion could dedicate ships, fighters, resources to once again bringing Mandalore back into the fold and defeating the Vong there. But Val, Malachi, I'll need you to hold to your promise. And your promise is very simple. You'd get the chance to go defend Mandalore, help the planet repel the Mandalorian or the Yuzon Vong invaders who plague it. But during that fight, Mandalore should he befall an accident, blaster bolt in the back, a duel between hunters, that would be most acceptable. Mandalore the Exalted needs to fall for the Dominion, I should say, to be able to dedicate our ship's resources to retaking Mandalore.
I'm not the smartest man in the galaxy, but I see where this is going. To change leadership now would have disastrous effects on, it's a vacuum. People are going to want to fight for it. Who knows how much we're going to lose in the time spent and the lives spent trying to figure out who should be the new Mandalore.
True, you Mandalorians do like a good fight, and who am I to say for the Sith? We do like a fight on our own, especially for secession. But Vars, you've got a very strong story. But a story beside, who's going to turn down the man that comes along with help and reinforcements? The man that turns the tide of the battle? The man that saves the planet? That's something people will rally behind. Mandalore the Exalted, brilliant warrior, decent tactician, terrible at running a government. With help from a friend, I'm sure you could do much better.
This is a lot to consider. Now, like I said, I'm not the smartest man in the galaxy, but it's not dishonorable to challenge a Mandalore to single combat and try to take the claim. And I've got a feeling that's where this is going.
Oh, you could certainly do it that way. As I said, my favorite for you, Val and Malachi. Horse, if he survived, would have been responsible for killing him. You could aid your friends, because, he is a very formidable warrior. My favorite from you is that you put your bid in to take over. Nothing dishonorable. It elevates you. A favor between friends. You save my life, I make you a ruler.
If it's any consolation, Vars, I think that you would make an excellent ruler. You're already quite the leader in your own right, and you already inspire the Mandalorians that... I can see that you're stressed by this. You should take your time. As for me, Lord Galvin, I will do what must be done.
I'm glad to hear that, Lord Malachi. And depending on how you take him down, it could bring you quite a bit of renown, or even at least favor with Darth Dominus. He's not been happy with Mandalore Exalted since his betrayal.
Okay. God damn it. If we're gonna do this, it has to be done right. I'll have to challenge him. Because if Mandalore the Exalted falls to a Sith, or falls to an agent of the Hutts, what kind of a leader would I be if I suddenly decided to say these are our friends, these are our allies? There's no way to explain that away. I wouldn't sit with that. That wouldn't sit right with me. That wouldn't sit right with any damn Mandalorian. So, no assassination, no blaster bolt and vying for power.
Am I hearing you correctly, Bars, that you want this to be a legitimate one-on-one duel between the current Mandalore and yourself? In the midst of the chaos of trying to save your home world. A lot of things can happen in battle.
Galvin nods. Oh, go ahead.
I have great faith in the skill of our warrior here, and of course your abilities, but I'm happy to keep your hands clean in this endeavor.
Far be it from me to say how you should approach this. I do agree with Malachi. It's much easier. Mandalore the Exalted, as I said, all right tactician, terrible leader, formidable warrior, very one of the best I've seen without the Force. I have almost faced new Vars as well, but much easier for him to meet an accident, fall heroically against the Varg, as it were. But the choice is yours. Though I know you do Mandalorians do have squad on squad duels as well. You can bring his own honor guard with him. You can bring your friends with you. If you decide to go the honorable way, I'd at least have a friend with you.
Like I said, this is a lot to consider. And what you're telling me is either I agree and go forward with this, or I don't, and Mandalore falls. Every version of it. The man, the place. I mean, at that point, the people. We can't afford to be separated and broken up again. He's gonna just he's taking his helmet off and he's just running his hands through his hair, and he is uncertainty. He is the perfect picture of uncertainty. He has no idea what to do next.
Well, I said, this is, as Malachi said, take some time to think. Not too much time. And you could even leave my deal on the table and try to take the planet with the Fonda Station forces. But from what I've heard, it would be a very tough fight for you. Especially since your ships, like as my own ships need repairs, your ships likely need repairs as well before making the jump to Mandalore. But this could be an auspicious day. We could come, eliminate the Varg from Mandalore, remove a ruler who, while loved, has not done well for your people, and put the Galactic Alliance, the alliance between, reforge the alliance between the Mandalorians and the Dominion, and find our true foe once again.
I have to admit that the betrayal of the Dominion never sat right with me. That's bugged me for a long time. We were doing well, but then as soon as we got what we needed, we, like rabid dogs, attacked. I will think on this.
Well, let me know what you decide. And, oh, before I forget, once again, good job today. You retook Ethor, you removed the blight from both the Dominion and actually, I shouldn't even say the Republic's honor, because the Republic tried to oppose you there, but you at least removed the blight from the Dominion, the Mandalorians, as well as the rest of the galaxy. Celebrate your victory, think about tomorrow, have your ships ready, and give me the call when you've decided.
You'll have my answer soon.
Well done to you all, to define the station. And you see him take a hefty swig before his hologram cuts out.
Vars, this is simply striking while the advantage is there. Do not try to look at this as the Sith trying to turn you into some sort of puppet. I just wouldn't have that. And I would tell you if that is exactly what was attempting to be done here. You are a worthy advocate. And this is something that you shouldn't consider lightly. You should definitely think on this. And I'll look at our silent warrior and see if he's even paying attention. He's not here to speak for himself, but I'm gonna guess that he got bored and he probably left.
I think canonically Val, when he gets bored, just does like different training exercises. I think he said it before. They does like maneuvers or training things. So that's probably what Val's doing.
Okay, he said he can still hear, but he's not here right now. Yeah, I will support you in your decision, whether that is taking the high road or you allow Val and I to uphold our end of the deal. We did say that we made a promise. We made a promise to Lord Galvin, and there are quite a number of consequences, as you can imagine, if I go back on this promise. And I knew what that meant when I accepted. But this is my way of climbing the ladder. You are skipping quite a few rungs here. But I think that you're worthy for it. And I would be more than happy to assist you getting there in whichever direction that you choose to do that. But do not feel like you are being manipulated here. I would do no such thing to you.
You know, I should have asked Galvin why. Just realized that now. Why does he want Mandalore the Exalted down? Why does he want me up? I mean, he's a friend, sure, but, and no offense, but the Sith have their own motivations. And maybe he's still bitter about the betrayal. I wish I had a better understanding of the everything behind this. You know what? I'm gonna ring up Galvin. He's just gonna ring him up right now. Just real quick, buddy.
Call him back. He's like drunk. He's on his like 8.
The hologram does pick back up. Galvin, a bit of a happy amusement in his eyes, and he goes, "Well, I thought it would take a little bit longer, but you've made your decision, my friend."
No, I come seeking a bit of clarification from you.
What can I illuminate?
Why?
In general?
I mean, why do you want Mandalore the Exalted to fall? Why do you want me to take his place? I mean, I like you. I think you like me, but I don't think you do things solely for the sake of kindness. Not very Sithy of you, if you get my meaning.
You see, he smiles at that, and he goes, "Well, I'll answer the second part first. You saved my life. You, along with those original survivors of Vela, who I'm glad to hear you didn't have to put down. May they recover quickly. You all probably should have killed me, by all rights. 2 Republic soldiers, a Mandalorian, along with an agent of the Black Sun. I should have died on that planet. Along with Zerka as well. But Zerka, I mean, the Zerka one is more likely to ransom me off for credits than kill me, but there we go from there. But I should have died there. I was weak. I could barely keep my own head up. It would have been child's play. But you freed me. You gave me a med pack. And you let me make my own way to freedom. I owe you. And before you think I have doing this all in the goodness of my heart, I do feel that you will be more open to the correct way of doing things than that rabbit cur Mandalore, the so-called Exalted. You've got a little bit more sense about you, and you realize, to what you've seen said before, if Mandalore didn't break away from our alliance, we probably would have squashed the Republic before this war took place. We could have had one galaxy versus the Yuzon Vong. One supremely strong fighting force that was not crippled due to infighting to face off against the Vong. But due to his short-sightedness, we had so many different factions still not under the true sway of the rightful ruler of the galaxy, Darth Thomas. I think putting you in power could rectify that. So to say it simply, I owe you. I feel you could do better, and I feel you'll aid the Dominion in the end.
That would involve me, I'm not sure what it is, swearing fealty, bending the knee, whatever the equivalent is to Dominus at some point.
Forrest, give me a persuasion check on that side. Or insight, your choice. He smiles, goes, my friend, that's a problem for another day. For today, we're retaking Mandalore, removing the old leadership in with the new. I do feel that we'll be closer allies at the end of this. But don't worry about it now. You're on mute.
I thank you for your time, and I'm sorry for the interruption.
No worries at all. Lord Malachi, please don't forget to call me when the interrogation for Master Shaper Nimien begins. I'd much like to see what pleasantries of Dominion you show her. But overall, enjoy your celebration.
Absolutely, my lord.
Oh.
So what's Val doing during all of this?
Yeah, what does Val think about all this? I mean, politics probably is not Val's thing, but what's he thinking so far?
Yeah, so Val's got kind of a little bit of a smirk, and so I think the crew would probably instinctively know this. Val would probably just want to challenge Mandalore anyways, because killing him would be like the pinnacle of honor throughout the galaxy in his mind. And so, but having said that, he's not going to stab him in the back. That's not how Val does things. So that would be kind of Val's take on it. I don't think that would shock anyone.
Do you voice any of these concerns?
Yeah, I guess so. In character, Val could earn great honor taking out Mandalore the Exalted, of course, in a fair duel. But Vars, You do not have to partake. You may try to stop me. Val will earn honor then too. But you also may warn the Mandalorians of my coming. I understand you are honor-bound also. But I hope you understand that Val has given his word. Thou has said, point, and I will kill that person. And so I am honor-bound.
Yeah. Lord Galvin sure as hell pointed. Okay.
Well, Val, you don't necessarily have to stab him in the back. You can always just stab him in the front, and other people that you consider less honorable can do the backstabbing. No problem.
Val can only earn honor if I challenge him.
Okay, so challenge him. I'll make sure that I don't hear the challenge, and then I will join in on accident and help you take him down. He is a formidable fighter. I have great faith in you to take him down with the assistance of those currently in the room with you, and maybe some other people that might be joining us.
Val would just shrug. Val has his honor. I gave my word, and I will fulfill that. Val will try to fulfill that. But my honor still holds.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to figure this out in the next 5 minutes. We might as well have a conversation with Grandmaster Shaper, Master Shaper. So many titles. Nemyen. Let's go talk to Nemyen. You guys all right with that?
Yeah, out of character, I have no idea what I want to ask her right now. So I'm just, I'm like.
I mean, I got a few.
I mean, we can go off your lead. I got no problem with that, dude.
Perfect. You guys are definitely able to find her. They once you came on board, some of your security forces have escorted her to your the brig that you installed after you did not have a brig last time. So the newly minted to Father Station brig. You do see out of the crew just kind of knew your guys' kind of what you all would prefer, but you see kind of guarding Nemyen both inside as well as outside her cell, CC droids. There's no living things, persons anywhere near her. All droids, all guarding her. Just kind of like the most. There's nothing really functional technology-wise, but you do see they've got like bits of scrap, wires, technological pieces. Seems like the crew has a little bit of a grudge against her as well. They see they've set this all up kind of on their own as you approach your cell. But within her cell, you do see her kind of lean back against the bed in a sitting position, kind of sitting and lean back, kind of her head tails kind of still like all fairly still, eyes kind of looking back and forth, kind of clearly evaluating, but on the surface, appearing calm as you all approach a cell. How do you guys approach?
What time of day is it?
So this has been a long day. So it's night. Oh, you guys are in space, but if we went by ether or planet side, it's nighttime. Probably close to or after, about a little after midnight. Because this has been, you guys started the day at the morning of the invasion, battling your way down to the planet, battling your way through the Shaper's Den, battling your way to her ship, and then making your way back up and doing all your report outs. It's been a very long day for all involved.
Well, I'll start things simple. Long day, huh?
Well, you could say that. I started the day in control of a planet, and now I'm a prisoner. The fates always have such mysterious plans for us.
They do. You're not what I expected.
Well, normally I would say that's a good thing. One should always be unexpected. But she kind of looks around at her surroundings. That seems to have failed me today.
So, why didn't you fight us? Isn't that against your religion, code, whatever it is?
Vars, give me a persuasion check.
Let's see if it's better than the last one.
It can. Oh, I could be even. I was about to say it can only be better, but it could be. Yeah.
The spectrum.
Going from crit failure to crit success. You see, she kind of. You see her face go through two different things. For a moment, she was almost gonna, like, you could almost tell she was gonna spew some platitude, some witty remark. But they kind of see, like, just the weight of the situation, the weight of your words hits in, and she goes, "I am no warrior. I am no fanatic who desires to have my blood upon the field brutally pulled apart in pain to honor the gods. That's not my path. Truthfully, I don't even believe in the gods. But we always have to put on the show. I like to create. I like to make the impossible possible. I didn't fight because," kind of looking between the three of you, looking to Malachi, to Val, to Vars, I didn't fight because, firstly, I'd likely lose. I'd more than likely lose. And then all my creations would be done. There'd be nothing. There's no more possibilities. Now, while they may not be good, there's still possibilities.
Yeah, you're definitely not what I expected.
Vars is gonna, I'm assuming at some point he put his helmet back on. He's gonna remove it and just look at her just plain, meat to meat, like person to Vaughn, I guess is the best way to put it. And he's just gonna look her like up and down and just, you don't even really care about the Vaughn all that much, do you?
That's a misnomer. I care about my people. I do care about creation more. But I care about my people. I do feel the crusade for this galaxy would do better. He kind of looks around. I mean, I truly believe in the gods. I do believe this is an abomination. If you're going to create with life. I feel that our Supreme Overlord would bring that.
Who's that?
Oh, I forgot he has not arrived yet in this galaxy. Supreme Overlord Josera. He should be here soon. He's actually invited.
Invited?
Oh, yes. By that little lick spittle that controls the Republic. And you guys remember that Supreme Chancellor Alvin from Alderaan.
that rat. Lovely. So, I mean, in the eyes of the Vong, you've been captured. You didn't fight back. Would you say you're essentially dead to them?
You see, she smiles and goes, "As I said, I am no warrior. I am an unparalleled genius. The Supreme Overlord would not be pleased. I may even lose leadership of my domain. But no one throws away a talent like mine."
If any of you guys want to jump in, please feel free to.
We'll say Val, Malachi, what are you guys thinking?
I think the biggest thing for me is I just find it very hard to believe that somebody is so committed to the side of creation that the Vong are as she is, wouldn't believe in the gods, because that is the sole purpose of why they do it, right? Why they do the scarring and the biological upgrades as they are and things like that. There's got to be something missing there. So it's just unbelievable that she's saying all this. It almost sounds like she's saying exactly what we would want to hear to avoid letting the beatings commence. Because
Inside check.
this prisoner looks really comfortable, and I was planning on making her uncomfortable, but she's answering. Where's my character sheet?
You kind of like watch her body language, and she's definitely slippery, a little hard to read. But a couple of things you notice with it, like she did seem a little bit. Her body language seemed passionate, as well as like slightly disgusted when the gods were mentioned. She did seem, and the same passion carried over when they mentioned kind of the living creatures, kind of the to create you must do so with living beings. It seemed almost genuine as well when you kind of said that.
Do you think that the Vong will accept you back if they were to get their hands on you again somehow?
As I said, a genius is a terrible thing to waste. May I lose my station? Yes. May I be kept in some secret shaper's den, thought to be dead? Most likely. Would I lose my life? I wouldn't bet on it. Unless the War Master got a hold of me first.
What I hear is you like living, and what I can attempt to offer you, not guarantee you, because it will be decided by beyond us. There's a lot more people involved than the three of us that you see in this room. I'm sure that you know that. But we have some members, some old friends of Vars here, as you've so politely told us many times as we've approached you in your domain here. I think a good step in the right direction would be healing them and then continuing to tell us what you know and helping us. And if you really think this overlord is going to take control of this galaxy and our resistance means nothing, then your help should come at no cost, except your life.
She goes, my life, important. The ability to create, more so. Create things, living things. I would consider your offer. But I had what promises I could still create. And you could use my creations for whatever you will. As long as you promise they will not touch your abhorrent technology. You'll use them as intended.
We all have to make compromises that we're never happy with completely, but I've already faced death, spoke with it, came back from the brink, and I'll take off my mask, just cinematic purposes. I've also been a prisoner of one of your shapers and endured. I will do what I can to get you as much freedom as is comparable to the amount of information and help and assistance that you provide us. That's what I can offer, but I can't guarantee it. But I do know that there are many of us that would accept your assistance in the fight against your kind? And how do you feel about helping us against your brothers and sisters?
Give me a persuasion check.
I would love to lend a hand with this, but I don't know.
Solid. You see, she smiles and says, oh, but of course. And first and foremost, they're my people. I wish them well. But creation is more important than all. The ability to create. If the so-called gods did exist, that would be the only reason they should be considered gods. Because creation is above all else. So if you allow me to create, you can use whatever I create against my people. I'll be sad. But I'd like to see the results.
Well, I think we learned something that the Vong can be sad, or are you just using that word to appeal to our good nature?
You see, she looks confused at that. Of course, the Vong can be sad. The Yuzan Vong can be sad, angry, happy, joyous. We are still people. We just desire our way to be the way.
I see. Well, this is beyond my scope. Feelings aren't really my thing. Good for you. I will say this conversation has been valuable so far. I have no other questions, but I will reach out with your offer of aid and assistance. We also ask that in addition to this and the freedoms that we will afford you under certain conditions, of course, that you will also help his friends recover completely. Or as best as possible.
I will bring your friends back to their unperfected state, if that's what you wish.
Well, it's more about what they wish. Before you
could ask them what they'd wish. I'm sure they would say they wish to stay the same.
Yeah, before we go with that line of questioning, how difficult is it for you to grant them their free will, so to speak?
It would take some time for it to truly be gone, but if I put them through a deprogramming routine, if you allow me use of my lab, one of my pods, we could restore most of their functionality within a week. Still be lingering traces. Time would need to take care of that.
Yeah, because something tells me Caesar wants to keep his damn arms. But I feel like we have a lot to learn from you. I'll admit, what the Vaughn can do with living matter is impressive. You've made some things that are very damn hard to kill. So, I guess that's
not hard enough, apparently.
Well, I guess I'm just, I don't know, I'm pretty good at being imperfect, I guess. And all this metal. Ugh. But I feel like maybe we could learn a lot. And I've got a friend of mine that I think would love to talk to you.
Well, I'd be most curious to hear from them. Oh, Val, you about to say something?
Yeah, so you can tell Val is just kind of, he's actually leaning up against the wall. Maybe a little bit more serious than people are accustomed to. And Val will just kind of pipe in and just go, Val's people, we have a way of dealing with those who hide behind honor. I have met many Vong, and I understand the gods may be better than most. And while I do not believe, they do. And in that belief is their honor. So when Val's people take that honor and try to use it to further themselves, we break that person so that we can show their true dishonor to their fellow comrades. And in that, we can prove who they are, because those with honor, they will not break. And so Val is surprised that the Sith are so accommodating. But if that accommodation seems to wear off, Val will gladly help. We will break you. We will show you to the Vong in your broken state, and that will benefit us. So that, of course, is still an option if, of course, the Sith run short on patience.
Val, give me an intimidation check.
On top of that, I can tell you that under Dominion eyes, you will be, Master Shaper, on a very short leash. It does not matter who is watching you. You will be watched constantly. There will not be a single move that you make that we will not know about. Every breath, every movement, everything, we will know. Do not try to turncoat on us. Double agent. None of this. You serve us now. Or you serve no one.
Oh, so I serve the Dominion now. Not the Mandalorians, the Hutts, or to find a station. Interesting.
Perhaps I spoke out of turn and a little bit too quickly there, but the Dominion is heavily invested in what you can offer. I cannot speak for the others.
You see, she kind of gives a small nod there, which just turned her smile over to Val. Kind of like a little strained at the threat, but definitely kind of keep the smile up. And she goes, well, I'd be curious to see that breaking. I don't wish it to be me, but I'm always looking for new ways to break creatures. But Val, hunter of hunters, as I've heard you called, it's good to see you in person. From what I've heard, a heresy has spawned from your interactions, and always curious to see a fellow heretic.
Val once again finds it odd that you shall call someone honoring the gods a heretic. But then again, Val now understands that you do not believe in the gods.
I think she means your friend from the first world ship we blew up.
Vralik Val, the Shaper.
Yeah.
So, there's so many questions, but how the hell do those damn billups work?
Well, she kind of gives you like a long explanation, but they're mated pairs. Sometimes you can mate, even though they're mated pairs, you can connect them to others, and then they take on the form of the visage of the one in front of them, and then they communicate across any distance.
How do you disrupt that?
She kind of see her thought and goes, we've never tried. I could look into it.
Yes. I mean, I'm sure someone of your talents could figure something out.
I'll need my lab.
Yeah, we know, the lab. That's, it'll be a bit of time before we get to anything involving your lab. You'll have to understand that we don't trust you. I mean, I'm sure you don't trust us. We say all these nice things, but next thing you know, we're blasting you out an airlock. So we're going to have to figure out a way to make it safe for you and for us to work.
Well, of course, it has to be safe for all involved, but don't tarry too long. I mean, from all I've seen, you all are the losing end of this war. I'd hate to become a prisoner to the losing faction and aid you all or where my skills could have aided you all in these endeavors. So, take your time. I'll work on your friends when you clear me to, and then maybe we can talk about the future. Just a bit later.
This is turning into a really long day.
With that, is there anything else you guys want to ask Nim Yen?
Yeah, but I'm sure I'm going to think of it as soon as we wrap up the conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna walk out of the room, and then we're gonna be like, oh wait, yeah.
By the way,
Nemian, the questions I have for you are long, and well, frankly, I don't think I've got the energy I'm going to ask you all of them. I'll collect my thoughts and speak with you at a later time.
Well, I'll be here. So whenever you decide to, and whenever you just think my genius is needed, come talk to me. I'll be happy to create for you. Though I'll need my lab and some shamed ones for assistance.
Val probably wouldn't think of this, but I think Vars would. Probably a map with locations of where they are, where her bases are, where...
That was about... We got to the same conclusion at the same time.
Is there anything that you can offer us in the way of intel that might, I don't know, make us more amenable to giving you the resources needed to create?
As far as roll me a persuasion check.
Should have saved that damn 20.
You see, she nods and she goes, well, I'm not the War Master. I don't know locations of all of our different fleets and various assets. One thing I could share, and I may have mentioned this a little earlier, but Supreme Lord, Supreme Overlord, has been invited. He is making his way to Coruscant with his honor guard fleet to claim Coruscant. Alvin doesn't know that fact yet, so do with that as you will. He thinks that's going to be a joint ceremony between two equals. These on Vong have no equals.
Is it wrong that some sick part of me wishes that we just let that happen and I can see his face when it does?
Oh, what'd you say, Varus?
Oh, is it wrong of me to want to let that just happen and wish it in his face when it does?
Did his Varus say that out loud?
Yes, 100%, yes.
Oh, okay.
The rest of the crew, yeah.
You see, Nemian shrugs and goes, it would be interesting. I know the Supreme Overlord is looking forward to it.
What do you think about that, Val, and the lack of honor in this supposed deal that's, the Chancellor thought that he was joining the winning side, but the Vong are very much capable of backstabbing, it seems. Not that I'm also not wanting to be there to witness this and just let it happen, but the loss of Coruscant and the trillions that live there That would be far too much to recover from, I believe.
Yeah.
That would be a significant loss.
Val just shrugs. Val has seen the Republic turn on the galaxy, seen the Mandalorians turn on the Dominion, the factions fight amongst themselves. Val is not surprised when politicians lie. Val is not surprised when leaders backstab. This is who the galaxy is.
Well, thank you for that. Nemyen, Shaper Nemyen, Grand Shaper Nemyen.
Master Shaper.
Master Shaper. Sorry, I'm long
You
day.
see by my seventh finger, I've earned my title, so as it is.
You'll forgive my lack of familiarity with your titles and hierarchy system. I'm sorry. Thanks for that. We have a lot to consider and discuss. Is there anything we can provide for you in the meantime? Not your lab, I mean, but some sort of an amenity of some sort, something that will make you more comfortable.
If you would a plant or some natural life, I would appreciate that. And I will, for that potential token of generosity, I will give you one last thing to mention. I'm not even sure if you're all aware of it, but your exploits upon the world ship, when you met that Shaper, that heretic, that shamed one who desired to regain his station, it spawned a bit of a heresy is not the best word for, but a heresy, revolt,
The schism.
a schism. Fair. Within the shamed ones.
Been hanging out with Talus.
Are learning them big words.
She goes, it could be useful to you. The shamed ones handle most of our menial tasks. They also are most numerous, faction within the Vol. Not great warriors, not great builders, not great schemers, but numerous. Do with that as you will.
The gods didn't shame you. Your leaders did. It's got a hell of a ring to it.
You see her smile and shrug. That was true for Varlic Vow. And now the gods don't shame others, but sometimes the weakness of body does. But that doesn't seem like a very good tagline. A rallying call, if you will. But I'll take that plant whenever you get a moment. And then once you all are amenable, I'd like to be back in my lab.
That
Working on all that, the Villip Jammer?
Yeah, I'll. The plan itself will likely be encased in glass of some sort. Precautionary measure. I still don't know what the hell you can do with life.
She gets shrugs. Well, I'll be here.
Yes, you will. Guys, we got things to discuss.
And unless anybody else really wants to get anything else with Grandmaster Shaper Nemyen, I will exit thusly.
Perfect. You guys are able to leave the prison, and as you guys are leaving the prison, you do see one of the technicians that work around to find the station running up to you, kind of like not panic, but definitely urgent look upon his face. He does kind of pass over a data pad. You guys have already heard this news, though. You see the data pad. You see kind of like images of Mandalorian ships trading fire with an enormous Yuzon Vong fleet. Definitely no rolls necessary. You guys are able to see that this Yuzon Vong fleet several times larger than the Mandalorian one. It's one that the Mandalorians are digging in, holding hard, trying to keep their planetary defenses intact, but without aid, they will eventually crumble. And you kind of see all of this playing out through the ship. And you see this little tech go, "Sirs, we've just got recent intel. Mandalore being invaded by the Yuzon Vong. Our intelligence agencies believe it is being led by their war master, Bakken Choka, himself. Tons of ships. We estimate roughly a week and a half, 2 weeks, that the Mandalorians can hold out. We'll need," and you kind of see him look over, kind of scroll down away from the data pad, away from like the printout of the Mandalorian invasion to kind of your own ship, showing you kind of what the CC roof fighters look like, what your the Roidium mutts, what the Tafana station resources look like, and he goes, "Your lot's brilliant strategy kept our ships intact, but we will need a week to patch repairs in, reload, rearm, resupply before we can make our way to hyperspace. We are working double time to get ready, but we wanted to give you all a readout of where we're at and the recent intel. As far as your Mandalorian comrades, they appear like they may be preparing to make the jump to hyperspace, but they did say they'd meet with you before they left. Is there anything you all want us to do while we're preparing?"
Focus on those repairs and see about getting the Shaper some sort of plant life, but make sure that it is kept in some sort of glass case, something that she can interact with directly. We're taking steps to help with the cooperation of the prisoner. This will go a long way.
Understood. We'll find a plant. Put it in glass. We could put it in a repulsor shield. That could be interesting.
I think the technology in the way of the plant might cheapen the gift, so to speak.
Understood. We'll find a plant, glass, something very tame and unuseful, even if she's able to get at it.
Yeah. And make sure that the droids are programmed to take appropriate action if the plant has some sort of spontaneous growth or some crap like that. I still don't know what she can do, but I know that she knows a lot more than she's telling us. So
You see, like the technician looks a little bit nervous. He goes, sirs, we probably should have cleared it with you first. We did tell the CC droids that if she does any hostile or unusual action, to just burn her down.
No, that's great initiative. Good job.
Good. Glad. Sorry, we should have cleared it, but glad you guys approve. We'll get the repair started. We'll get that plant for her. But yeah, you guys, it did it. You can get a really crisp loot and scurries off to complete his task.
I guess I'll head to the comms conference room, whatever the equivalent is, to speak with the Mandalorian force before it heads in the direction of Mandalore.
Birthday, you guys are able to get into a conference room, and you see, I think you even see it like on some of the hollow tables, like the Mandalorian forces are grouping up with kind of like the limited ships they were able to bring to this engagement. Most of the Mandalorians were doing the Mando thing and going EV in their commando or their Beskar Garm, so they don't have like a huge fleet with them. They've got kind of some carrier ships, some drop ships, and a few fighters, but you do see them grouping up at the edge of space. You see kind of a helmeted Mandalorian appear, his armor black and gold. Definitely like it's beat up. It's one that looks like you see like grime, dirt, bits of blood, dents, scorched. Like it looks like he has not taken a chance. Like he's went from the battlefield right to his ship. It looks like they are preparing to jump. And you do see him appear on the screen, and he goes, "Commander Arso reporting. Vars, We'd like to stick back with you and celebrate, but homeworld is burning. Gotta get back there as quick as we can.
Of course, I wouldn't expect anything else.
You see him fidget in his armor a little bit. Not like he's at like military attention, but you do see kind of like a little bit of awkwardness that you could pick up before, like in that moment of silence in between. And he goes, "You lot are coming too, right? Commander Velku said that you committed to protecting Mandalore.
Yep.
We may need a few more guns."
Don't worry, Mandalore's going to get them. We have our own repairs to make here, but as soon as that's done and all that, we're going to be there. There's no point in showing up just to fall apart.
Gets a little bit of relief, and then it goes, "It's good. But we'll save a few of the scar heads for you, but we got to bang out."
Question for you. Would you do something that you thought might be dishonorable to save Mandalore? Our planet. For clarification.
you see he nods. You see him like think for a moment, and you do see him like he actually takes his helmet off for this. And kind of like you see like this scarred up visage. Like it's you see like cuts crisscross from knife fights, blaster fights, everything in between. You do see his eyes thoughtful for a moment, and he goes, "The Criff is honor. If we could win, Criff honor is best what I could say. Whatever we need to win, whatever we need to get these Yuzon Vong, the Criff out of our galaxy, I do."
I expected as much. All right. Tear those scar heads, tear them up.
Yeah. They keep saying they like pain, but we'll make them regret that choice.
Make them eat those damn words.
You see him put his helmet back on. And he goes, "Keep on fighting, Vord." And with that, you see his ship start to streak out into hyperspace. And with that, actually, ask before that, is there anything else you guys want to do today or get your log rest? It's some downtime where you guys kind of prepare your fleet to jump back into it.
Not a damn thing. I can't think of a thing. Maybe send some personnel to secure Nemyen's lab, so to speak. And I don't know.
Secure the lab, scan it, see what's inside of it, investigate thoroughly. Some scientists and some other big brains, maybe not as big as hers.
That's actually a very good idea. I don't know what personnel we have on station, but whatever she's doing, she's not doing on her own, right? So make sure that we have people that can understand what she's up to, or at least glean what she's up to, and make sure, if there's anything that she does that's untoward, that they can say the code word or whatever the hell, and then the CC root droids fire. Makes sense? You guys are on board with that?
Yep.
We should probably get our comrades on station if they're not here already. And I think the doctors, right? Didn't we have to remove Crystal before we learned a procedure for it?
Yeah, so Talos did kind of learn and broadcast the overall method to remove the York coral control seeds. There's definitely kind of surgeons on station that can remove those for the 3 survivors of Vela. They got hit with a little bit of a double dose though, between the control seed along with kind of the mind warping suggestions, kind of the brainwashing visions that they were given while hooked up into the pods.
All right. So I would suggest we assemble a team of scientists, if we have them, to work with and alongside Nemyen, and essentially keep an eye on her and learn what they can. Hell, if Talos is still around, like, you hang out in the lab with her.
Well, you have no idea where your friend Talus is. That seems like the perfect location that only a select number of people, not even us, should know. And put her there.
Not a terrible idea.
Yeah, I mean, your Sith handlers might not appreciate that, but if they get results...
That's true, but I think that we can get what we want before that happens. I don't think that this will be an immediate transition. But at the moment, we're working our leverage. And, you know, I can only speak for the Dominion, and she knows our interest. I expressed that. So, we'll see what happens. Talos is with the Republic or Zerka or both?
Zerka.
Just Zerka, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like the Republic.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, right now, out of character, there are apparently two factions of the Republic, right? There's the faction that is pro, and there's the faction that is against the Vong. So, I mean, he could still be a part of the Republic, but in one that is clearly preparing and against. I was thinking out loud. But as Malachi, putting her where this scientist is, friend of yours, in this unknown location seems the best bet to keep her locked down, out of sight, but definitely not out of mind, because her contributions, her intelligence, we can feed her bit by bit the things that she needs, keeping a close eye on her. And she earns these things by providing us intelligence, the locations of these high-ranking Vong, the exact location of where this overlord is going to enter the galaxy might be a very wonderful thing for us to learn. How great would it be if we amass all of our power, and however that looks when the time comes, at the exact place that he enters the galaxy, and we just take him out right there before he even reaches Coruscant?
I don't know if she would know the exact spot, but oh crap! Is
The Chancellor.
yeah? Is he conscious? Is he communicative in any way? We need to go
Yes,
see him.
you'd get an update with him as well. He's actually going to need a little bit of your guys' help with this one, too. He is critical. He's kind of like bleeding out. They've been torturing him pretty much nonstop since he's been in their care. They did not try to... They had no need to try to recondition him like they did the survivors of Vela. He'd already been voted out. He had no use as a double agent, so they pretty much just used him as a guinea pig and kind of torture subject. But you guys can potentially try to see if you'd be able to save his life, which will be a bit of a skill challenge on this side. Let's see kind of what between your skill in medicine, the Force, whatever it may be, battlefield techniques, just kind of starts to bleed. Because right now they're throwing back to Adam, trying their best to keep him stabilized, but he's still deteriorating. He's just he's been through too much.
Let me look on my sheet. Let's see.
I don't got much here.
I mean, outside of injecting him with a med pack. Hey, you're okay.
Yeah.
Strength check.
He gained HP. He's fine. No. Well, I am proficient in medicine because I decided to make the fighter a skill monkey.
I mean, I can throw force lightning into him and give him a little shock. Maybe that'll jumpstart his heart.
Well, no, yeah, I guess if I know Vars is going to go there like 100% because we just hit him that he needs to get that intel about the whoopsie daisy get wrecked Coruscant with the Republic somehow.
Do we have any other friends inside the Republic still?
So inside the Republic itself, not so much. Remember, your old friends did form the Resistance even before before he was Oveno was overthrown. He was supporting the Resistance with like funds, material. So the Admiral Nexton Vexen is kind of running the Resistance, and they did get decent bit bigger with the Republic deciding to throw in the Vong. They did get a lot of the defectors joining in with them after that.
Yeah, so we could at least pass it on to the Resistance then.
I don't know how long it'll take to get from there to there. My hope is that Uveno still has some sort of contact that he can trust inside the Republic. That's my hope.
Yeah, but how do we keep this guy alive? Is the question right now.
Okay.
I'm just like, I can cast I can put slow descent on him. It'll be okay if he falls.
I am proficient in medicine.
Oh, are you?
So this would be a skill challenge. So you guys, I mean, medicine proficiency, but even just kind of examining, kind of feeling them out through whatever methods you have. And because you guys, they've thrown back to him, and usually back to people that are still living, it seems to help. But he's still deteriorating, and there could be something for that, or something they're causing that. So,
I mean, we have the Master Shaper short walk away from us right now. We could just be like, tell us what's the cure, and we'll get you another plant.
Yeah, something prettier.
Yeah, so this will be 3 successes before 3 failures. Not a crazy one, not a crazy difficult one, but how do you guys approach it?
So, help set the scene here. Are they working on him actively? Is what's going on with him specifically? They're just flying back to.
Definitely. So you see he is floating in a back to tube. You see kind of through both kind of droid arms as well as kind of people putting arms through the back to tank. They are trying to operate on him. You see the doctors are kind of struggling a bit right now, trying to staunch his wounds and trying to find kind of what's keeping him from being revitalized. You see kind of a lot of, you almost feel palpable confusion and like anxiety as you make your way within.
Okay, there's clearly got to be something Vong related inside of him that is doing this to him. So I can see these things within my foresight as a void if they appear in I guess a mass or something. Can I don't know how, like, what skill I'd be using for this outside of like my force.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Perception. I've got good perception, I think.
We hope.
Oh yeah. All right. It's one of my better skills. This is where we shine. Or not.
You look through his body and you see like remnants of kind of like the voids and like just small pockets of kind of like where Vong technology may have interacted with him. But it's a failure. But unfortunately, you're not able to see. You're certain that he's clear of what's ailing him. Definitely wounds and things caused by Vong technology, but you're not really able to see any kind of remaining Vong technology within him plaguing him. But you're not really able to kind of put your finger on what the cause is, why he almost seems to be resisting the medical treatment.
Asking you guys, the other players, and you, Tegan, do we have an inspiration available? Because I feel like spotting this, I mean, it's not like I got a tiny modifier on this. I feel like spotting wherever it is in the body is essential right here. So
I agree.
You got 2 points.
If you have it, go.
Two. We
Yeah.
got two. Okay.
Yep.
Let's re-roll. All right. Perception. And let's get the opposite side of that description now.
Hey, there we go.
Nice. So
Parts of me puckered when I saw it hanging out on the 2 on the dice.
Yeah, I did too. I've actually got good internet, and I saw that dice roll. I was like,
So everything that stood before stands, but you're able to clearly see. There's no trace, there's no Vong poison or anything interacting with the system. You see kind of a swirl of force within him. And usually most people kind of either burn with the gray or the blue, with the red within the force, kind of burn brightly, especially someone like him who's accomplished, strong, if not strong in the force, at least strong within their own presence. His presence seems dimmed. Seems like it's fading. Just doesn't seem like there's fight within it.
so there's no focal point of the fade or anything. It just seems like he previously was probably a bright shining blue, and then he's now like just slowly fading.
He's definitely he's a bright gray. We'll say,
Right.
but definitely it's fading. You're certain it's not Vong. It just seems like his spirit's kind of sapping.
I can't find anything within him that is part of the Vong biotechnology. My senses have failed me here. I've done all that I can.
But you guys have 1 success, no failures with that reroll.
Do we have any Jedi left on the ship?
Yeah, the Master Paolo and the Order are kind of still around.
But I'm gonna reach out to them because Sith are great at a lot of things, but healing isn't one of them. So again, I know it's a skill challenge. I don't know what you'd like me to do for it, but I want to can we get a Jedi, please? We need help. Yeah.
Give me a persuasion check. The Jedi are they did commit to saving Supreme Chancellor Oveno, but they're not always in the best of terms with him. But they good persuasion check, they may be able to bring in some additional resources to help. Are you letting that stand? You're muted.
I'll define that thing if I need
Define
to.
it.
Yeah, please. Or,
Luckily for this one, that's all you needed. So you do get kind of a Master Paolo on the hologram, and you definitely see like a trace of reluctance. The Order did kind of press you guys into saving him. They know that he is the kind of the path for bringing the Republic back into the war, but he really hates Jedi and Force users. So you do see kind of that like small trace of reluctance before Master Paolo goes, we'll come and see what can be done. So you got 2 successes, and what Master Paolo is going to do, you kind of see him and some of the members of the Order come, and you see them meditate in front of the Bacta tube, and you see like for a moment like nothing happens. The droids continue working on the Vano's body. You see everything continues before Master Paolo speaks up and looks at the group, and he goes, his wounds will heal. It appears he's lost the will to live. It's not the physical ailments or the physical the blows he's been dealt. His mind, when I could feel of it in the Force, feels to be intact. It just seems to be fading. It needs to be, if I had to guess, his will needs to be re-inspired for him to fight, for him to keep himself alive.
Speech.
Val's -1 charisma. Let's go.
Val is the inspirational force on this group.
Is his son still alive? I forget.
No, his son got killed.
Yeah, damn, so much for that.
Well, that's
Alvin executed him, or even executed him.
wow. That's probably shouldn't bring that one up. That's not part of the speech. Well,
And you guys would know because no rule so he already knows. His son got executed before he got turned over to the Vogue. So before Oveno got turned over to the Vogue. So he's aware.
So the now chancellor is the hand or the decision maker that had his son killed.
Yeah, definitely not the hand, but he's the one that called that shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, revenge is a hell of a motivator.
yeah. So I guess I'm not gonna cheese it. I'm just gonna go with persuasion, right? And we'll see where the dice go. The skill check that's got to be me that makes it, right? And so Val is just going to be brutally honest. Val understands the loss you have suffered, but the reality is, your son is dead. Your position is lost. But if you do not do something, trillions will die. You can stop that. Val can help you. We can help you. We can aid you. But ultimately, you must have the strength to go on, and you must have the honor to persevere through and restore the Republic. That's it.
That was a great speech, man. Let's hope the dice.
Let's see if it resonates.
17. You got 1 point of inspo left. 2.
You won't want to install this one. I'm just telling you. Here it is.
You got that point of inspo. Your choice to burn it. I would burn it.
We have more failures, right?
You do. Yeah, this will be your first failure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a -1. If you guys want me to burn inspo, I'll burn it. But
I mean, no. Not on a -1. Your speech was amazing, by the way. It was so good.
yeah, I mean, it was either that or I just try to just pick them up out of the tank and roll athletics.
Wake up, bitch.
Now, like, wake up.
Just throw them on the ground and start whooping at them.
Fight back. Sweet. So fortunately, you guys can see, like, for a moment, it does seem like his body like doesn't stir, but you just see the bubbles in the back of the tank intensify. You start to see some of like the things monitoring like his heartbeat, his breath, all of that start to like spike. And you see a bit of distress in him, like almost shaking him to his core. So there's 1 failure out of the 3 with 2 successes out of the 3. Who wants to go next?
I have an idea for persuasion.
What's Mars thinking?
You might not give a damn about the Republic, but are you going to let the son of a bitch that killed your son and took your job remain in power? Is that what you're going to do? You're tougher than that. Is that how you're going to honor your son's memory? By giving up? The Republic needs you, and you need to take that bastard down.
All right, roll it through.
I figured because since he was such a hateful guy towards the Jedi, revenge might be a good motivator.
Oveno, I mean, he hated Jedi, but he hated Force users. Jedi is Sith because the Sith kind of fucked up his own planet. And he's a warrior. And you do see kind of like the bubbles intensify. You see the heart rate thing continue to spike, but then it mellows out. And you see like this big Mon Calamari's eyes open. And you see like it opens and like not it's like a bit of frantic rage in them as like his eyes open and you hear kind of like the sonic resonating with the Mon Calamari being able to speak underwater through their weird vocal system. You hear him go, "He will bleed." Or actually, not gonna get his Mon Cal voice. "He will bleed," as you're gonna hear it muffled through the back of the tank as Oveno's eyes open. His vitals begin to stabilize, and you can even see it in the Force Malachi when his spirit started, like his aura started to initially was shrinking, kind of closing in within itself. It's blossoming. You feel very bright for a non-Force user, with just kind of this gray with undertones, almost warring undertones of blue and red. But right now the red seems quite a bit stronger. Kind of like almost streaking like lightning across his gray. And you see his eyes open, fury within them. Oveno lives.
Well, Vars, well done. If you could see what I can see, you would know that you have definitely motivated this man. Well done.
Hey, Val just got the truck rolling. That's all. We did it together. Uveno, are you well enough to communicate?
You see like the droids clear the back to tank, throw like a little kind of like a almost hospital robe over him. And you see like he is limping, beaten, battered. But you almost see him, he's not full military attention, but you see him kind of like trying to snap back to his form. And you hear him go, "I am hurt, but I will fight. I will. The Republic may have turned its back upon me, but I have not turned my back on its people. They're scared, frightened, and to be frank, childlessly foolish. They need guidance, and I hope to guide them again."
Well, I'm glad you still care about the Republic, because Coruscant's about to have some major issues. I'm going to wager, just because, that we have some sort of security footage that, recording all over the place, and likely we have access to said footage, right?
For what?
The brig.
Oh, yeah, for Master Shaper Nimian. Yeah, you do have a footage of that, yeah.
I would like to play the relevant footage about the invitation and then the plans for the Supreme Overlord of the Vong.
Oveno's like already bulging Mon Calamari eyes like bulge even further. And you see him like shake his enormous head, and he just goes, "Not enough that he's a traitor. Even as a criffing idiot, inviting them to the home planet, inviting them to our galactic seat. I cannot wait to put a blaster bolt between his eyes." You see, he kind of like, definitely, like, he looks tired, but he looks and he's still feeling the effects of the wounds and kind of the horrific treatment that he's pretty much had for the last month. But he does seem revitalized, and you hear him go, "I am going to reach out to Admiral Nexon and see what we can do to defend Coruscant. I can't act too overtly yet, but I do want to weaken even support within the Republic. I'll see what senators and leaders we can shift and prepare Coruscant to hopefully be able to repel the Supreme Chancellor, the Supreme Overlord when he comes, so we do not have to have the fate that he so envisions.
Well, I'm glad you made it. Good. Last thing we need is the Vaughn getting hold of the core of the galaxy.
See, he nods and goes, of course. We'll make sure that we can keep that from them and begin to strike back out. I'll gather my troops and let's see what we can do.
All right. Well, rest up because you look like you need it.
You see, like, for a moment he shakes his head. Definitely, he's exhausted. Like, no insight roll needed. He definitely needs some rest, but he goes, I will rest when Avon is dead and the Republic's is set to rights. I have been out of it for too long. And you basically see, like, he doesn't like dismiss you, but he starts kind of like barking out orders as much as he can. He basically asks for a data pad, a readout of kind of where the military, kind of what the overall intelligence outlook looks like, trying to engage like kind of the people around, so kind of what information he can get to get himself up to speed as he heads to the comm center to start reaching out.
If you would have asked me 2 years ago if I'd care so much about Coruscant and be working with the Sith and the Hutts, I'd have laughed in your face.
Gotta hear, he does give, kind of as he's walking off, he goes, well, if you told me I'd be saved by a Mandalorian, a Sith, and an employee of the Hutts, I would have called you a fool. But here we are.
Here we are. Heal up. Okay. Do we have anything else we need to tend to before we rest up? Because god dang.
That is everything that you guys need to do, or everything that's on your list for today. You are able to go through, get your long rest. You see kind of like around you, like Tafada Station is not sleeping. They are repairing CCU droids, repairing damage from the station itself, repairing kind of the Roidium Mutt ship's armor, everything that's needed, and they are getting everything patched up for your journey to Mandalore. Either a duel or a backstab while you guys take the planet. Initially, I was planning on doing downtime today. What we'll do is we'll pick that up next session with downtime, getting you guys to Mandalore, helping you, and with you guys help retake the planet, and then take down the Mandalore or Mandalore the Exalted. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how you guys approach that. I'm not sure if the honorable section of the group will weigh out or the dishonorable section of the group will weigh out.
Yeah.
Because it's about split. I think it's about 50-50. Because Burger should be back. And for you guys already know, but for the viewers, he's going to be playing a Caesar that's gone through some long mind messing. So it's going to be it'll be fairly interesting to see which way the group swings on this one.
Oh, he's coming back as Caesar. I did not know that. That's fun. Oh boy.
Nice.
So
He's gonna have
that's
arms.
oh, what's that?
Will he have arms?
Shaped arms. Shaped. How long will he keep said arms? Who knows?
Well, it's up to the dice, right?
Forever, yeah, we'll pick up next session. I forgot to ask you guys, the 17th work for you all?
Yes.
Sweet.
Should be fine.
We'll pick up next session, get into the first session of the Mandalore invasion arc as you guys are trying to assist the Mandalorians in taking down and potentially taking down one of the Yuzon Vong's War Master, Vakan Shoka, the man who has led pretty much all of the Yuzon Vong's major war efforts, usually kind of leading from the front. He was the one that initially took Ethor when it fell. He's pretty much their commander-in-chief of the Yuzon Vong war effort. You guys will be faced up against him, and then potentially faced up against Mandalore the Exalted. So that should be a pretty fun one as we get into that. So everybody come back for that. And